After the long and relatively stable rule of Basil II, the Byzantine Empire entered a period of gradual decline, marked by internal conflict, military defeats, and the rising power of external enemies. Basil II's death in 1025 left the empire in a strong position, but he had no heirs. His brother, Constantine VIII, who had served as co-emperor for decades without actively ruling, finally assumed sole power. Constantine VIII was elderly and disinterested in administration or military affairs. His brief reign from 1025 to 1028 was largely ceremonial, and he spent most of his time indulging in courtly pleasures. Constantine VIII arranged the marriage of his daughter Zoe to Romanos Argyros, who became Emperor Romanos III. Zoe was a powerful figure, and her life would intertwine with 3 successive emperors. Romanos III reigned from 1028 to 1034. He was ambitious, but largely ineffective, especially in military campaigns like his failed attempt to reconquer Syria. His reign ended mysteriously, possibly murdered, paving the way for Zoe's next husband, Michael IV, a former court official. Michael IV ruled from 1034 to 1041 and was more competent, especially in financial reforms and military efforts. But he suffered from epilepsy and left governance largely to his brother John the Orphanatrophos. Michael IV's death led to the brief rule of Michael V, an adopted son of Zoe and Michael IV. His attempts to sideline Zoe sparked public outrage, and he was deposed in a popular uprising in 1042. Zoe and her sister, Theodora, jointly ruled for a short time until Zoe married for a 3rd time. Her husband became Constantine the IX Monomachos. Constantine IX's reign saw continued decline, especially militarily. He dissolved the elite military units and allowed the provincial armies to weaken, contributing to future Byzantine vulnerabilities. After Theodora's brief return as sole empress in 1055, the throne passed to Michael VI and then to Isaac I Komnenos, who attempted reforms but abdicated in favor of Constantine X Doukas in 1059. The Doukas dynasty struggled with rising military threats, including the Seljuk Turks, who dealt the empire a devastating blow at the Battle of Manzikert in 1071. Emperor Romanos IV Diogenes, a capable general who married into the Doukas family, led the army but was betrayed by his allies and captured by the Seljuks. His defeat marked the beginning of the empire's territorial losses in Anatolia. The Komnenian restoration began with Alexios I Komnenos, who seized power in 1081. His reign marked a significant turning point for the empire. Alexios I was a skilled diplomat and military leader who managed to stabilize the empire and rebuild the army. He famously called for Western aid against the Turks, which led to the First Crusade. Although the Crusaders had their own agendas, Alexios managed to recover some territories in Asia Minor and reassert imperial control over parts of the Balkans. Alexios I was succeeded by his son John II Komnenos, who continued his father's reforms and campaigns with quiet efficiency. Known for his moral character and humility, John II focused on improving the empire's internal stability and external defenses. His son Manuel I Komnenos was more ambitious and engaged deeply in Western European politics, even participating in alliances and wars with German and Hungarian kings. Manuel's reign was marked by some military successes, but also financial strain and overextension. After Manuel's death, his young son Alexios II became emperor, but the regency was dominated by his mother Maria of Antioch and her Latin advisors. This fueled resentment among the Byzantine elite, and Manuel's cousin Andronikos, at first Komnenos, seized power in a violent coup. Andronikos the first attempted reforms but ruled with cruelty, leading to a popular revolt that ended in his brutal execution. The Komnenos dynasty ended with Andronikos, and the Angelos dynasty took over. The Angeloi emperors, Isaac II and Alexios III were weak and corrupt. Their incompetence left the empire vulnerable to external threats. In 1204, the Fourth Crusade, originally intended for Egypt, was diverted to Constantinople. The Crusaders, manipulated by Venetian interests and internal Byzantine factions, sacked the city in a devastating event that shocked the Christian world. The Fourth Crusade's sack of Constantinople marked the end of the Byzantine Empire as a unified power. The Latin Empire was established in Constantinople, while several successor states emerged, including the Empire of Nicaea, the Despotate of Epirus, and the Empire of Trebizond. Among these, the Empire of Nicaea, led by the Lascaris dynasty, carried the legacy of Byzantium forward. Under leaders like Theodore I and John III Vatatzes, Nicaea preserved Byzantine traditions, culture, and military organization. In 1261, the Nicaean general Alexios Strategopoulos recaptured Constantinople while the Latin garrison was away. Michael VIII Palaiologos was crowned emperor, restoring the Byzantine Empire under the Palaiologos dynasty. Though the city was reclaimed, it was a shadow of its former self-sacked, depopulated, and weakened. Michael VIII ruled until 1282 and faced both internal and external enemies. He tried to secure Western support through church union, but faced heavy opposition from Orthodox clergy and populace. His son Andronikos II undid the union and faced a deteriorating military situation. He drastically reduced the army and navy, which proved disastrous when Turkish principalities expanded into Asia Minor. A civil war broke out between Andronikos II and his grandson, Andronikos III. The younger Andronikos emerged victorious in 1328. He attempted to reverse the empire's decline and succeeded in some campaigns in Greece. His death in 1341 sparked another prolonged civil war between the regents of his young son, John V Palaiologos, and the powerful general John VI Kantakousinos. The conflict further exhausted the empire. John V eventually ruled, but his reign was troubled. He became a vassal of the Ottoman Turks, traveled to Western Europe to plead for aid, and struggled with palace intrigue. His son Andronikos IV rebelled against him, leading to more instability. The Palaiologos dynasty continued to rule, but real power waned as the Ottomans gained dominance in Anatolia and the Balkans. Manuel II Palaiologos managed to delay Ottoman advances through diplomacy and even visited Western courts. However, the empire was reduced to a small area around Constantinople and a few outposts in Greece. Manuel's son, John VIII, ruled during the Council of Florence, where he attempted another church union, again rejected by the majority of Orthodox Byzantines. The final emperor, Constantine XI Palaiologos, took the throne in 1449. He was a brave and noble ruler who faced impossible odds. The Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II prepared to capture Constantinople. In 1453, after a prolonged siege and heroic defense, the city fell on May 29th. Constantine XI died fighting, and the Byzantine Empire ceased to exist. The fall of Constantinople marked the end of the Roman Empire's 1,500-year history. From Augustus to Constantine XI, the empire had evolved, split, survived numerous crises, and adapted to a changing world. While the city became the capital of the Ottoman Empire, the legacy of Rome and Byzantium continued to influence religion, law, art, and governance in Eastern and Western civilizations. The memory of the emperors, some great, some weak, others tragic, remains etched in the chronicles of history.